So welcome to the beautiful 18th here at the Asprey, and we're talking all about the grip. So if you're watching this video, that means you're interested in improving your grip or just getting some information. Now, the perfect grip for golf. It's a different question, debatable question, but look, what is the perfect grip for golf? The perfect grip for golf is something that allows you to produce a consistent impact, that allows you to strike the golf ball consistently and get the desired ball flight that you want. Now, let's take a look at people like Paul Azinger, David Duval, maybe even Jordan Spieth, all extremely different holds on the golf club. Now, look, would you want to change their grip because it looks very different, or it's strong, or it's very weak? You wouldn't, because it allows them to produce the impact that they want. But what good is that to you guys? You know, what we wanted to do this video for really is there isn't a perfect grip for golf, but there's certain things that if you get it right with how you grip the golf club, it makes it easier. And there's certain things that we don't like to see, and there's certain things that we like to see that could certainly help produce a better impact. So if you do have a poor grip, or it's influencing your ball flight, there's certain things we're going to go through today that's going to make it easier.
Yes.
So Piers, should we start with maybe the things that we don't like to see that the guys should maybe steer away from? Three things to avoid.
There's three main issues that we see, and just a quick note on the best players in the world. You could line up all 100 top players in the world at the moment, and they all have slightly different grips. So as Andy said, it's all about matching your grip to the shot that you want to get for consistency.
Okay, Piers, let's go through the three things that we want to potentially avoid then when holding the golf club.
Okay, yeah, and we see multiple things, but these are the three nasty ones that really do hinder the golf swing. So first one we see is when the club gets very high in the lead hand. So it sort of looks like this. The shaft is quite vertical there, and we can see when I open out the hand there that the club is running very much up the palm, up the top by the thumb, and it's sort of missing out the fingers. Now, this is great for putting if you want to do that sort of action there, but as soon as getting that club around the body, it's not going to be very dynamic. So that's the first one that we don't want to see. Next one is the deep interlock. So when there's obviously different ways you can hold the golf club, but when we see a deep interlock, we see hands that are really sort of jammed in there, like so. And again, there's no freedom in the grip at all there, and you can see by the time I get the hands down there, they're all out of position there.
And it gets it very much in the palms when you do that. When this deep interlock is when people sort of get the little finger and the index finger here, and they jam it right in there. It's almost too much in there, as opposed to a slight interlock. So it just puts it out of position.
Very similar to the first one. They tend to go hand in hand. It's kind of like you're holding onto a hammer almost when you're doing that. And then the last one is, this is when we've got someone who's slicing the golf ball, or a high weak ball flight, is when they get their trail hand and they get it too much round toward the target. So you can see my trail hand there is wrapping over on top of the golf club there. Now what happens from here is it adds loft to the club face, so we have to do everything we can to square the loft up, and if we don't quite square the loft up, it can cause a slice. But as I say, if you do square the loft up, it goes very high and weak.
It does. So those three things really that we see all the time that actually cause problems with golfers.
Every day.
You can avoid those three things, and we're going to show you how to avoid those three things in a moment, then you are going to build a better grip, and you're going to be more consistent when you're striking the golf ball. Okay, Piers, so let's start with the high handle. How are we going to fix that?
Okay, so high handle, Ben Hogan's very famous book, Modern Fundamentals, he talks about holding the golf club up in the air like so with the right hand, and then placing the lead hand on the golf club. So by doing this, I think it's a really good way of doing it, making sure your leading edge is in a good position there, but getting, fidgeting around a little bit maybe, but getting it so that the club is running in the fingers like so, and then you can just literally close the hand on the golf club like so.
And what I love about this here is I love how the heel of the hand, the heel pad, actually sits on top of the golf club. And I know Hogan does this here. He lets go with all three fingers here, holds on with the index finger, and it's just supported by the heel pad, which is a great sort of test when you've got this.
If you were doing the other grip, you have no support of this whatsoever. So again, when you get down to the golf ball, then you can see that the shaft angle has dropped down a little bit. It's not up in the air like you're hitting a putt, it's down on the ground like so. So from here, it's just so much easier to get that mobility that you need in those wrists.
Okay, right, let's correct the deep interlock.
Deep interlock. Okay, so we saw this one from a very famous golf coach who we love, Martin Hall, where you just need to get your palms facing each other. Okay, so you just need to work really hard, bringing the palms in so you can sort of clap and sort of shuffle them around like so. Then have the same feeling as that when you're on the golf club. So your palms are facing each other, and then from there, literally, you close your fingers on the golf club, and then you can go into your interlock. So it's a way of really making sure that the palms are sort of facing each other, but also running in the grip correctly. Now, one thing I will say about the interlock ask yourself the question whether you need to do it. It is a good grip for a lot of people, but often when people go for the interlock, it's when the problems happen.
Definitely.
So I've definitely got people going from interlock to baseball because when they went for interlock, they were very deep. So you could even go baseball as well.
Definitely. So getting those palms together. And if
Palms
you're somebody
together.
who has this deep interlock, you know, when you're taking your grip, be aware that you're not going underneath. This is key. We don't want to come underneath. We're going to go from the side, get these hands sort of working this way. Massively going to help that impact and the consistency.
Okay.
Okay, so the right
Last
hand.
one. The right hand, the weak right hand as we call it, because it weakens the loft on the club face. So we just mentioned there about bringing the palms in facing each other. Now the problem we often see when we get someone who's got this weak grip right hand on top, we ask them to back it round here. By the time they're ready to pull the trigger and take the club back, they're back on top again. So what we're going to do with this one is we're going to take the setup. Good left hand obviously there, Andy, got the Hogan grip there. Now we're going to get the palm and actually face it out, not from coming in facing the other palm. We're going to face it out in front of you and then bring the hand in underneath and then close it on the golf club. Now you'll see when I'm holding the golf club here, this might be what we call a little bit strong or closed, but I guarantee you if you're someone who wraps on too much from this position here, by the time you get into the shot, it will have moved around and settled hopefully exactly where you want it.
Definitely. Did you go back to the good hold there, Piers, from the side? And what we'll always notice, we often talk about the V's. The V on the right hand going up towards the sort of trail, shoulder and ear, somewhere between there is a good one. And a bad one is when we get that right hand too much over and you can see the V now is pointing past Pierce's left ear. Again, producing that sort of high, weak club face position which just loses power as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's some key things there, isn't there, that we always look at when golfers come to us. Things to avoid, really important. The high handle through the palm, making sure we don't get the deep interlock, and avoiding the weak right hand. If you avoid those three things and start as a guide for the things that we've just done there, you know, as we said, there is no perfect grip, one perfect grip. But you know, if you can start with some of these simple things and then really have a play around and see what works for you to get the ball flight.
I think you definitely will find if you have one of those three problems that you will be able to change the ball flight by changing the grip and correcting that. Definitely. And we say correcting because in our opinion it will be a good idea to correct it, definitely.
Right, well, on to see you hit shot, Piers.
All right, here we go.
We've got a new set of irons.
New set of irons.
18.
Now I've hit 2 shots with them already and I actually nearly did hole one of them. We're going to see the pitch mark in a moment, but I'm working at the grip down. Again, I always like to have a little bit of a waggle so I can make sure the grip is going to function before I pull the trigger. Let's see what happens. It's not going to be a hole in one, but it's middle of the green though, no problem.
Very nice.
Oh, back of the green.
Okay, guys, hope that helps. Some simple things to take from that. Post any comments and questions down below. Again, for next week, we'll choose a winner, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks for watching, we hope you enjoyed that. Now, how would you like to win 1 year's supply of tailor-made TP5 golf balls? If you do, go to Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, find the post, enter the competition today.
Yes, and if you want to subscribe to our channel, click here. To watch our previous video, click here. And don't forget to check out our website where there's loads of content to help you golf. Just right in the corner there. Thanks for watching.